All right, guys, top designer fragrances. Yes, some 10 out of 10s that are a part of my collection that I'm going to share on to you, so stay tuned. And guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on all notifications, hit that bell so you don't miss a fragrance video. However, like I said, we're gonna get into some 10 out of 10 designer summer fragrances. In my opinion, now, this is all subjective, guys. This is my opinion, what I own about 1,700 bottles, but I'm gonna try and narrow this list down to the perfect designer summer fragrances for 2025. Now, there's really no criteria to fit this video. I just have to enjoy the wearing experience. I don't care how long it lasts, how long it projects, how many compliments I get, but these are the best designer summer fragrances in my opinion. So, starting off with the first one, from John Vervados, and this is their best fragrance of the line. Now, John Vervados gets a bad name because the fragrances don't last. They just don't last. But I reapply, I bring the bottle with me, I bring a decant, and it has to be John Vervados XX Artisan Teal. Yes, XX Artisan Teal, citrus, salty, marine. One of the best citrus openings I've ever smelled on a fragrance, and truly their best offering next to Artisan Blue in my opinion. But if you never got your nose on this, you can find it at reputable discounters for like 30 bucks. I'll link a bunch of links and codes in the description below, but this is a pretty safe blind buy in my opinion. And the most important part, I enjoy wearing this fragrance. I don't care what anybody else thinks, but in my opinion, a 10 out of 10. And again, that's John Vervados XX Artisan Teal. Now this next one, somewhat of a new release, came out in 2024 and was a re-release of its 2016 counterpart, and it's from Rabon, and it's got to be Invictus Aqua 2024. Yes, Invictus Aqua 2024. It's a citrus, aromatic, woodsy, ambery, salty, soapy, clean fragrance. One of the best Rabons in my opinion, next to the 2018 Aqua. Just fantastic stuff. Now it opens up with this grapefruit note and it perfectly balances the citrus, the aquaticness, if that's a word, aquaticness, with the ambery, woodsy dry down, masterfully blended. Just one of the best summer designer fragrances in my opinion, and a 10 out of 10 has to be Invictus Aqua 2024. Now we have to give a shout out to Invictus Aqua 2018. This is slightly different, actually really different in my opinion, and in the note pyramid, I'll try and put it up above, very small nuances. Now, I believe in the 2024, all they show is grapefruit, ambergris, and oceanic notes. I could be wrong, but with this one, there's a lot more woods in the pyramid, and truly and honestly, if you can get both, I would get both. This one almost adds like a violet leaf, violet nuance to it that makes it a little more fresh than ambery and woodsy, but fresh, aquatic, summer, and one of the best designers that we could tag up with the 2024, it's got to be Invictus Aqua 2018. Now this next designer captures the summer essence in the juice. One of my favorites from the line, and again, it's going to be kind of a marine, salty, slightly sweet fragrance. And people are going to complain about longevity with this. I get a solid 4.5 hours, which is more than enough. Respray, reapply. Again, bring a sample with you. Overspray with this one like I do. But it's definitely got to be the best one in the house. And that's Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. Yes, Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. A great just lime, tequila, guava, salty style fragrance. Some people are going to say this reminds them of Virgin Island Water by Creed. I don't get the differences. I thought I used to, but side by side, they're completely different. Now you can find this at most discounters for 20 bucks and truly captures vacation in a bottle. Must have, must own for the price point, especially for those beach days. And again, that's Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. Now this next fragrance, worth every penny in my opinion, especially on discounters for that $80, $85 price range. I know Jomashop and FragranceBuy at the filming of this video has it in stock. I'll link it below, but lemonade in a bottle. And that's from the house of Dior, and that's Dior Homme Cologne. Yes, Dior Homme Cologne. Now this features a unique note of grapefruit blossom. I don't know what that means, but that grapefruit blossom, some bergamot, some lemon, some musk, basically a musky, ice chilled lemonade in a bottle. Great for the high heat on those really, really hot days. Or if you're outside playing sports, this is one I recommend for summer, and it has to be from Dior. And again, Dior Homme Cologne. And this next one, somewhat of a newer release as well, and one of the best from the line, next to a few others that are pretty versatile. Same with this one, you can wear it any season, anytime, but it's got to be from Coach, and that's Coach for Men Green. Yes, Coach for Men Green features a unique note of kiwi. It's got some aromatics in here. Just a great scent for any age. It's youthful, it's playful, yet elegant, sophisticated, and grown up at the same time. Again, perfect for anybody, any situation. A 10 out of 10 summer fragrance from designer fragrance companies, in my opinion, and a must-have, must-own for 2025. And again, that's Coach for Men Green. Now this next one's gonna smell very similar to another Coach fragrance, Coach Blue, but I think this is done better in my opinion. Kind of following the same suit as the other fragrances, kind of a warm, spicy, marine, salty vibe with this, and perfect for summer designer fragrances as far as they go. And that's gotta be Jimmy Choo's Aqua. Yes, Jimmy Choo Aqua, not Jimmy Choo Blue, but this is gonna have some grapefruit, cardamom, some clary sage, I believe, possibly some woods in here. Great atomizer and super affordable on discounters. Hands down, one of the best designers, bang for your buck for the high heat, for the summer days. And as far as designer fragrances go, very high quality. And in the next spot, it's gotta be Jimmy Choo's Aqua. And this next one, another newer release. Now, designers have been killing the game lately, I swear. This is one of my favorites from the Gucci line that's not discontinued. And it's got to be the new Gucci Guilty Love Edition for men. Yes, Gucci Guilty Love Edition. Now, there's only 3 notes listed in this, but there's some orange blossom, I believe some ambrofix or ambroxan, what they call it. But this is just a fantastic fragrance for the high heat, the dog days of summer. It's gonna get compliments. It's soapy clean, fresh, long lasting on my skin, and a perfect 10 out of 10, especially if you like that YSL Myself-esque DNA or that original signature Gucci Pour Homme DNA, Gucci Guilty Pour Homme DNA. And in the next spot, it has to be Gucci Guilty's Love Edition. This is probably gonna be a hot take, but I wore this for many, many summers, on and off, week after week for a long time, and I love it in the high heat, especially when it's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit here in the Chicago area. I can't get enough of this stuff. Hate me if you want, but in the next spot, Dior Savage Odaparfam. Yes, the Odaparfam, not the Parfum, not the EDT. I think the EDT is more youthful. This adds kind of a metallic vibe to it. Now is the Parfum equally as good? It is, but I just prefer the EDP by a slight margin. Fantastic stuff. A must-have, must-own for any season, and especially going into the summertime. If you want a safe fragrance that's going to smell fantastic, you got to go with Dior Savage Eau de Parfum. Now this next one completely threw me off. Bought it blind, had no idea what it was going to smell like, but it's going to make it into this summer's rotation 100%. And I've been doing a ton of testing on it, and it may be top 3 in the entire lineup. It's from the House of Guess, and that's 1981 Indigo. Yes, 1981 Indigo. It's a fig, lavender, sweet, fruity coconut fragrance. Kind of puts you in that same headspace as Le Beau Paradise Garden. I know it sounds crazy, but try it for yourself. Super affordable. You can find it at most discounters or your local Burlington or Ross for like 15, 20 bucks. I'm going to give it a spray in the air. I enjoy this so much. Now, only 4 hours longevity with this fragrance. Again, I don't care. Reapply, overspray, do what you got to do to get through the day, but definitely in the next spot from Guess, a shocking fragrance. Guess 1981, Indigo. And in my opinion, this one's probably one of the best from this house for summer. I wore this in the high heat, the dog days of summer, like I was saying earlier, many times last year when it came out. Got me a ton of compliments, probably my most complimented fragrance last year, but it just works. And there's a very similar fragrance on this list we already covered, but we gotta go with YSL Myself Odaparfam. Yes, for designers, YSL Myself Odaparfam. Again, bergamot and ambroxan, soapy, clean, fresh laundry vibes. It gets you through the day. And did I not like this at first? Absolutely. Didn't care for it, didn't understand the hype, but the more and more I wore it, it became one of my favorite fragrances in the collection. A must-have, must-own for 2025. For summer, definitely has to be YSL Myself Eau de Parfum. Now this next one came out in 2003. Yes, 2003, and it still holds up true today. Timeless masterpiece for men, and the best of the line, probably next to a couple others, but we have to go Ralph Lauren's Purple Label. Yes, Purple Label by Ralph Lauren. Now I feature this in all my spring lists, but to be honest with you, it could work in spring, summer, and any season. Again, gonna have some unique notes to it. Blackberry, mahogany wood. It's gonna have some sage, I believe, some thyme, some aromatics to freshen it up. But a fruity, fresh, aromatic, masculine style fragrance that still holds up true today, and one of my favorite designer fragrances from Ralph Lauren as a whole. I believe you can pick this up from the Ralph Lauren website as of now. I don't think it's available on any discounters, but I get about 6 to 7 hours longevity with this fragrance. Great sillage for the first hour, and people stop me all the time and ask me, what are you wearing? I tell them Ralph Lauren's Purple Label. Another fragrance recently picked up in the last year and a half, completely shocked me. Based on the notes, it just looks like a generic scent, but this will kind of put you in the same headspace as like a Le Beau or a Vita Loca Mandarin Duck. If you've ever tried that fragrance, I talk about it all the time on TikTok. By the way, guys, you can follow me at TikTok and Instagram. A lot more content over there, but this one from Tommy Hilfiger, and that's Vibrant Summer. Yes, Vibrant Summer by Tommy Hilfiger. Again, aromatics and citrus. Has some lemon, has some citrus, has some musk, and another unique note. A lot of unique notes in these summer fragrances for designers. Solar notes. I have no idea what that's supposed to smell like, but this is a fantastic fragrance. Now, performance isn't great, again, but I don't care. It has to smell good, and I have to enjoy the wearing experience to give it top tier summer designer fragrance recognition. But for 15, 20 bucks, you can't beat it. Highly recommend checking it out if you like that Le Beau style DNA. Same with a couple of these other few, but have to go Tommy Hilfiger Vibrant Summer. But guys, that is the top designer summer fragrance list in my collection to date. Leave a comment down below some of your favorite summer fragrances. I'm curious to know, and if I haven't tried them, I'll definitely check them out. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm, and it's much appreciated. Much love. And as always, guys, stay clean, stay fresh, and remember, the world is yours. We'll talk soon.